We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
Turner Field tonight. So far, the rain has stayed away. The Marlins and the Braves on opposite ends of the East. The Braves at 6-1, the Fish at 1-6. Braves winners last night. They held on after a late Marlins rally. And the Fish tonight have Ichiro in the lineup. And they'll try to break the spell offensively. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Baseball players, superstitious. Guy to my left might not have been too superstitious in your big league years. What do you do to break a slump like this and get the bats going?
You do anything. You go shake the bat rack. You do what the Marlins did. They had bats all around the clubhouse on the floor in different shapes. You do anything you can because you want to break out of it. But to really honestly look at it, I thought we talked about it last night too. We saw some improvement in some swings from a number of the hitters.
Historically, just to put this 1-6 start in perspective, not only the record, but the runs and the hits that the Marlins have mustered in these 7 games.
Yeah, that's where it really starts to hurt when you look at the historical point of the fewest in Marlins history runs. They're not quite the worst, but they're close, and as far as hits, they're very close. So it's very frustrating. No one saw this coming when we left spring training. And, yeah, I did have a couple of superstitions. If I got a hit the first time up, I kept the same gum in.
Very nice. And he's had the same gum in the booth since 1978. Okay. In the absence of Henderson Alvarez, we know he's on the disabled list, and in the absence of offense, in the starting rotation, all of a sudden, the Marlins need some guys to step forward. Tom Kohler, in his first start, and was against these Braves, pitched quite well. They need another effort like that tonight.
Yeah, he did. And the one thing you don't want to have happen, you don't want the pitchers to put pressure on themselves and say, I've got to throw a shutout. Now, in Tom Kohler's case, it seems like every time he pitches against the Braves, he hasn't gotten much support. That was certainly the case his last time out. The only mistake, a 2-run shot that Pierzynski hit, but it was a 2-0 game. He didn't get that offensive help.
Kohler giving up that shot to Pierzynski. Those were the only 2 runs that he gave up. And guess who's in the lineup tonight for the Braves and catching?
Well, you had a feeling that A.J. Pierzynski would find his way in the lineup tonight. Freddie Gonzalez has a good memory.
Yes, he is. Ichiro's in the lineup as well. We'll address that when we get back. It is Twitter Tuesday. #MyOffSeason. What did you do in your off-season? We'll find out tonight and ball game. Marlins and Braves. Let's go down below. Jessica Blaylock.
Thanks, Rich. Well, it is an email and Twitter Tuesday, and Marlins fans, we want to know how you spent those months leading up to the start of baseball season. So we've got a special hashtag for you tonight, MyOffSeason. Be sure to send those tweets to @FoxMarlins, and be sure to send your emails to foxmarlins@gmail.com. Again, use that special hashtag, MyOffSeason. Send us your stories, your pictures, and you just might make the broadcast. It was a busy offseason for several Marlins players, including Marcell Ozuna, who added a new addition to his family.
My off season, yeah, it was good. I'm gonna stay in Miami with my family, my mom and my my mother-in-law, I guess. My mother-in-law and my wife, my both kids. It was pretty good. We have fun out there and progress to my injury last year. And I'll be good.
It's all about the offseason tonight. Remember to use that special hashtag MyOffSeason with your tweets and emails, and you just might make it into the broadcast. Rich, Tommy, up to you.
And the Marlins are hoping some runs make it into the broadcast tonight. The
Hashtag runs.
There you go. The Marlins take aim at the Braves tonight from Turner Field. Game 2 of a 3-game set. Florida is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Turner Field, Marlins and Braves moments away from first pitch. Miami's lineup includes that man, Ichiro. He'll be hitting second. D. Gordon leads it off. And, of course, the lineup's brought to you by J.M. Lexus. Giancarlo Stanton third. Martin Prado in the cleanup spot last night had a pair of hits and has always hit well in what used to be his home ballpark. Michael Morris at first. Marcell Ozuna is in center field hitting sixth. Jared Saltalamacchia is seventh. Danny Echeverria, a couple hits last night. Shortstop hits eighth. Tom Kohler is in the 9 spot. And a look at 27-year-old Trevor Cahill.
Yeah, he was acquired, Rich, by the Braves right at the very end of spring training. The Marlins have seen him before. Last year when he was with Arizona, he beat Miami at Marlins Park.
The Braves haven't seen him in a Braves uniform.
Yeah, he's thrown a couple of backfield games, some inter-squad games. It's been a while since he's been in real competition.
Pinch Penny bringing you that first pitch. It counts 1-1. Cahill spent spring training with the Diamondbacks. D. Gordon in the box, and he fouls it back to count 1-2. Gordon 1 for 3 last night with a stolen base. The Marlin offensive issues have not centered around D. Gordon. He's been a very nice leadoff man, on base at a 387 clip. Reaches out, pokes it. Cahill can't get it. Scooped up by Johnson. Safe at first. Gordon's got an infield hit. Streaking up the line. Once Cahill couldn't get it, you thought Gordon had a shot, and he beats it.
Boy, it's the thing of beauty. Not the swing, the running. You thought once Chris Johnson got it, he might be able to make the play, because once it gets to the shortstop, it's too late. But D. Gordon just flat out beats it.
That audio provided a great glimpse of what the umpire is looking and listening for. He's watching the base and listening for the pop of the glove. And you could see the foot hit the base, and you heard the pop of the glove just afterwards. Ichiro into the lineup a couple hours before game time. Christian Yelich, some back tightness. Yelich had the big catch last night. The catch didn't cause the tightness, but it certainly didn't help it. He's been nursing it the last few days, and today it was just a little too tight. And so Yelich watches from Miami's dugout. Ichiro's in the 2 spot and in left field.
Yeah, Christian came in. He was getting some treatment on that back, but just not quite there for tonight.
Gordon not a big lead. And he's running on the pitch, taken down low. The throw is up, and Gordon is in. 5th stolen base in 6 attempts for D. Gordon. And like I said, Miami's offensive woes have not centered around that man.
Well, he's been on base 6 of the 7 games. He has been responsible for 8 of the Marlins' runs this year. He scored 5, and he's driven in 3. Everything was done right. Pierzynski got rid of the ball in a hurry, made a good throw, but D. Gordon just beat it.
2-1 to Ichiro. Shortens the bunt, takes in, and the count is 3-1. Giancarlo Stanton will follow. Ichiro got a start on Sunday and was 1 for 3, and he takes outside. He is aboard, so speed at second, speed at first, and thunder at the plate now with Stanton.
Well, we've brought up this conversation a few times. Batting behind Stanton, it's important, but the guys in front, ever so important as well. And both of them have gotten on, and we saw Giancarlo with what I thought some pretty good swings last night.
Stanton 0 for his last 12, and on the season 3 for 23. This is just game number 8. Stanton hits a liner over the head of Simmons, and into the gap it goes. Gordon will score easily. Ichiro racing for third. Stanton holds first, and Miami's on the board. Stanton with a line drive single, and Tommy Hutton, I think what you saw last night, exactly what you said. Stanton starting to come out of it.
Well, you know, in talking with Frank Menachino as well, Marlins hitting instructor, plus Cahill, who's a sinker ball pitcher, got a pitch up in Stanton's eyes, and he's going to jump on that, and he did. But Frank Menachino saw the same thing. He saw the same thing in Ozuna. He liked what Echeverria did last night, and he also liked the way Martin Prado swung the bat.
Well, here is Prado with Stanton at first, Ichiro at third, and nobody out. And Prado lines it to left, hits it deep. Kelly Johnson's over, makes the catch. Ichiro tags, and he scores. Miami's up 2-0. So in the drop of a hat, the Marlins have as many runs as they had last night. Just 4 hitters in and 1 out into this first. Braves defensively.
We'll check in on that defense for Atlanta. There's Kelly Johnson, Eric Young Jr., Nick Markakis. Markakis, a couple of Gold Gloves. Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, Callaspo, and Freddie Freeman over on the right side. And we've talked about Pierzynski, the 38-year-old behind the plate.
Here's Michael Morse. Morse takes a strike. Morse 0 for 4 last night. Braves last night getting a nice start from Shelby Miller. Matt Latos starting for the Fish. Both pitchers had to battle rain delays. Not only a delay before the start of game by about an hour, but a 39-minute delay in the middle of the 4th inning. And I really liked what Matt Latos said this morning in the paper. Obviously, he said it last night after the game. No excuses in terms of giving the runs up after the rain delay. He said Shelby Miller had to deal with it just like I had to deal with it. Here's the 0-2. And it misses outside. Certainly, though, especially for a guy like Latos who's battled some injury issues, to have to cool down for that 40-minute period. Plus, he was down for the half inning leading into the break. So his break was longer than Miller's. 1-2. Morse, center field. That ball's pretty well hit. Eric Young Jr. back, reaches, won't get it. Off the wall it goes. Stanton around third. On his way home, Michael Morse with an RBI double. And the Marlins have a 3-0 lead.
Well, all of a sudden, this is amazing how something like this can relax an entire team, too. With the struggles we've seen offensively, we've seen some of the big hitters have good swings. Stanton, now Morse, Prado with the nice sacrifice fly. That ball was stung to get over the head of E.Y. Jr.
And so Morse drives in his 5th run. Here is Marcell Ozuna still looking for an RBI. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Ozuna 1 for 3 last night. Miami did get a 1-0 lead last night. It was erased quickly. It was down 3-1 in the 9th, added a run late, and lost 3-2.
And as we speak, as we watch Ozuna in there, some rain begins to fall.
Not a surprise tonight, much like last night. Ozuna gets the hands through. Young is over. Morse is tagging. Young makes the catch. Morse is headed for third. And the throw not nearly in time. Good hustle by Morse. He's 90 feet away with 2 outs. And Jared Saltalamacchia coming up.
That's a heads-up play. It's a play that you do on your own. Third base coach can only help so much because you have a really good angle. You know where the center fielder is. You also know what kind of an arm he has. So Michael Morse with a heads-up play getting over to third.
Saltalamacchia last night at 0 for 3. 2 days removed from a home run. And I say a home run, it's singular because that's it for the Marlins. Saltalamacchia swings and misses a breaking ball. It's 0-1. 3 runs on 3 hits right out of the chute.
Yeah, Trevor Cahill, 27 years old, had a big year, 2010, an all-star year when he was with Oakland. He was 18-8 that season.
Saltalamacchia stepping out. Marlins wearing their road grays. They did it last night, and it was the first time since back in 2013 that the Marlins sported the road grays as a team, although the road grays were seen last year in Major League Baseball at the All-Star game.
I tell you, I like the look. I think it's a nice, classy road look.
Count 1-2 to Saltalamacchia. Cahill with a changeup that misses down low. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cahill, as Tommy pointed out, really good in Oakland, an all-star in 2010. Not so good last year with Arizona. 3-12 with a 5.61 ERA. So much so that the Diamondbacks are paying a little over half of his salary this year. Check swing. And it is a swing. So says third base umpire Jeff Kellogg. But Miami is on the board 3 times on 3 hits and underway in Atlanta. Fashion come to the plate against Tom Kohler. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. EY Jr. had a big night last night, couple doubles. Alberto Callaspo's at second, Nick Markakis in right, Freddie Freeman at first, AJ Pierzynski who hit the 2-run homer against Kohler last week. Chris Johnson swung the bat well last night. Kelly Johnson's in left, Andrelton Simmons at short, and Trevor Cahill hits ninth.
Well, there's Tom Kohler, who's feeling pretty good right now because in his last 5 starts against the Atlanta Braves, the Marlins have scored a total of 9 runs. They put 3 up in the first inning. Let's see how Tom Kohler reacts. He's never beaten Atlanta. He's 0-3 in 7 career starts.
Yeah, and 3 relief appearances as well.
But an ERA in the low 3s, a very good earned run average.
Maybe tonight's the night. Eric Young Jr., Alberto Callaspo, Nick Markakis. And a pitch that Kohler misses someplace, and it's 1-0. An opportunity for Eric Young Jr. here in Atlanta. Although Cameron Maybin being acquired in the Craig Kimbrell trade might cut into some of his time in center. We saw him in left field to start things last night. Good breaking ball from Kohler. And it's 1-2.
One thing is you see Maybin there that Freddie Gonzalez has on his roster. He has a lot of movable parts, and we've seen that. A lot of very versatile guys.
Jam shot. And Gordon gets a speedy Eric Young Jr. So an out here in the first. Miami defensively.
Well, we told you about Ichiro getting the start. He's in left field. Ozuna and Stanton filling out the outfield. 54th career start over in left for Ichiro. Prado and Echeverria, D. Gordon, Michael Morse around the infield, and Salty behind the plate.
Kohler working quickly, misses out to Alberto Callaspo. So Callaspo at second base last night. He and Chris Johnson have been platooning the first week of the season at third base with a lot of success. Johnson hitting over 500. Callaspo's average up there as well. Echeverria in time. And there are 2 down.
Yeah, a couple of switch hitters at the top of that lineup. Watch how Echeverria charges this ball. As soon as it hits, he wants to try to get it before it gets that last hop. Didn't quite get there, but by charging it, he got it and was able to make the out easily.
One of Perry Hill's Cardinal rules. Ball hits dirt in front of the plate, you go get it. Line drive over the head of Prado. Ichiro over to cut it off, slides, knocks it down, picks it up. Markakis to second, and he's in there with a double.
Ichiro knew that if that ball got by him and rattled around the corner, that Markakis probably would have ended up at third. Good hitting by a solid hitter. Had a long career. Watch Ichiro. He just wants to knock it down. And then he actually comes up and throws like an infielder just to get it in quickly. Little sidearm throw.
Two down. Here's Freeman. And he goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. We'll dive into the emails and the tweets in the top of the second. Freeman, a solid start. A homer, 3 RBIs, couple doubles. Kohler misses in. It's 1-1. And that start against the Braves. We talked about the home run by A.J. Pierzynski. Kohler had given up just 3 singles going into that 7th inning. And that great play last night by Yelich, which was a double play. Kohler had a similar play on the other side of the diamond. Giancarlo Stanton in right center field made a diving catch and turned that into a double play. Yelich's last night, not a double play, but it ended the inning and saved 2 runs. Freeman wallops it to center. Room for Ozuna, and he's there, and he makes the catch. And Kohler is out of the first. Miami heads to the second, 3-0. With Jessica Blaylock. No rain yet, Jess.
A little bit fallen, but I'm good for right now. Well, there's some confidence building in that dugout behind me thanks to the way that the Marlins have started this game. But they had a feeling that this could happen. Michael Morse told me that this team felt like they were so close to breaking things open. They just needed to get a couple of good hits and string those together. Guys, that's exactly what they did in that first inning. You hope they can build on that momentum.
Well, here comes the second inning, and there's a drive into center field, a base hit. Good timing, Jessica. As Danny Echeverria singles to center. Echeverria desperately in need of some hits last night. Came up with 2 of them, including an RBI single in the 9th. And he opens his Tuesday night with a base hit to center. That sets up well for Kohler now, who will try to
bunt him to second. And Dylan has the ceremonial first email of the night as Kohler takes down low. Dylan wants to know, hi Rich and Tommy, why did the Marlins, actually his question is, why did Mike Redmond not call up Jordani Valdespin? Two things there. It's not necessarily Mike Redmond's decision. It's an organizational decision. Redmond is in on it with Mike Hill and Dan Jennings. And Tommy, I think the overriding factor that Reed Brignac is here is in losing Don Kelly, you lose a guy that can play shortstop, and the Marlins need someone to play short. Valdespin really doesn't play short, and Brignac does.
And some will say Donovan Solano plays short, but Donovan will play it okay. You have a Reed Brignac who has played it, and if anything were to happen to Echeverria, you have a guy who can go out there for a few games. So that mainly was what went into that decision. I like this tweet from Alessa. Spent her off season figuring out how many trips to Miami we could take from St. Augustine to see the fish.
Pitch misses out.
Nice going.
And it's 2-2. Kohler trying to bunt Echeverria up. Miami 3 runs in the first if you've just joined us. D. Gordon infield hit, a walk to Ichiro. Stanton an RBI single. Prado a sacrifice fly, and Michael Morse an RBI double. Kohler strikes out trying to bunt. And there's an out. Marlins.com, your one-stop shop for breaking news, tickets, sweepstakes, merchandise, and more. Sign up for free Marlins email or text alerts. You can receive year-round Marlins coverage, offers, discounts, and more. Go to Marlins.com, become an insider today. Look out.
What a great shot.
That actually is a actual swing. That I know there were a few tweaks technically to that shot. Echeverria is not up in the air on the blimp, but that was actually filmed in spring training. They set a camera, a super slow-mo camera behind plexiglass to get that shot.
Yeah, throughout the year, we'll have some great shots for you, not only with the hitters, but the pitchers as well.
D. Gordon with Echeverria at first. Let's see if the Marlins put the game in motion. It's one of the things you've noticed about the Braves in the 4 games that they've taken from the Marlins. Freddie Gonzalez, as you pointed out, has a lot of movable parts in his lineup. He's moving a lot of those movable parts.
Yeah, they've been on the run. We saw Bethancourt steal a bag last night. So they're not afraid to do that. And I understand you have to have the right ingredients, and you have to have, if you're down 3 or 4 runs, you can't do it.
That's where I was
headed. And the
headed.
Marlins have not had many leads. So it's been a little more affordable for Freddie to do that with his club.
That's where I was heading. There's a lot
See how we play off each other? I didn't know you were headed there initially.
There's a lot of things that the Marlins haven't been able to do. And we talked about getting regular work for Steve Cishek. Haven't been able to do that. Getting at bats for a lot of the guys on the bench. Haven't been able to do that. And a lot of that comes with the losses and the type of games they've been in. Gordon hits a hot smash. Simmons quickly gets it to Callaspo. His turn is in time. Gordon is out. 6-4-3 on the double play. 3-0 Miami. start already. Wednesday, that would be tomorrow, epic international showdown. The United States men's national team takes on Mexico. The Americans look to extend a 4-year unbeaten streak against their historic rivals at the sold-out Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Coverage begins Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Pierzynski, and he takes outside Chris Johnson, Kelly Johnson for Atlanta in the second, bottom half. Some sprinkles, but so far the rain has stayed away. Ichiro out in left field. Ichiro makes the catch. All right, emails and tweets tonight. We have an Ichiro question. It's from Bob. Are there any other players who have their first name on their uniform?
That's a good one. I can't think of any, but I have to believe there has been somebody.
Fastball misses to Chris Johnson.
Okay, here's a question for you. When you write Ichiro's name in the lineup, do you write Ichiro or do you write Suzuki?
Ichiro.
Okay, me too.
Swing and a miss. And I started that in 2001 when I was in Seattle and he arrived for his first year. And there's a great story behind that. A lot of people, especially in the National League, who haven't seen a lot of Ichiro, think going by just Ichiro is a little pretentious. Backhanded there by Prado, throws across the diamond in time when Ichiro was a young player coming up in Japan. The manager of the team that had his rights did not like his swing. That was the Blue Wave, the Oryx Blue Wave, and put him down in the minor leagues and said, you're going to have to change that whole swing thing. Well, that manager got fired, and the
no kidding.
Yeah, the new manager liked the swing. And in spring training, he called Ichiro into his office, said, you've made the team. You're going to play in the Japanese big leagues. But I want you to go by the name Ichiro. Just Ichiro. And Ichiro wasn't all thrilled with that. But he wanted to make the team, and he was glad that the manager liked him and asked him why. And the manager said, because Suzuki is the second most popular surname in Japan. And there's a lot of Suzukis that are playing professional baseball in Japan. But you are special, and you are going to go by Ichiro. And so Ichiro kind of said, okay, if that gets me on the team, I'll buy it. And the manager was right. I mean, he became legendary there in his 9 years. And obviously the name stuck.
And he has been pretty special.
And so it wasn't his choice originally. That one lined into left center field. Ichiro on the run. He's there. And he makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Tom Kohler. Guess who's coming up? Look how we spell it. Ichiro. The third, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Miami Marlins may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Ichiro leading it off. Giancarlo Stanton, Martin Prado to follow. Third inning, Trevor Cahill, his initial start as an Atlanta Brave, and it hasn't gone well early. He walked Ichiro back in the first. Now, Ichiro has a history against Cahill. Cahill with the Oakland Athletics. Ichiro flips it into left, and a running catch there by Kelly Johnson. Ichiro now 12 for 31, just under 400 against Cahill.
Boy, no one else flips it that way as well as Ichiro's done for a long time.
Got an email from Ryan asking you, Tommy, what are your thoughts on just watching Ichiro both sides of the ball over the last month and a half?
Well, watching him in spring training was a thrill just to see what he did, how some of the younger players kind of observed, and you just forgot that he was 41. And I talked to a scout today who had him going up the line last night at a better than major league average 4.1.
At 41.
At 41.
Stanton is up. He hit the first pitch he saw in the first on the button for an RBI single, a line drive over the head of Andrelton Simmons. Cahill with that sinker keeps it down and in. It's 3-1. It's out, and Stanton walks. And that brings up Martin Prado. Beats has this email question. You guys have avoided explaining to your loyal Marlin fans what has happened to Allison Williams. Why are you not mentioning her? I think we at Fox Sports Florida made that announcement. Allison herself on Twitter and social media let everybody know that she's relocated. She's out on the West Coast and doing a lot of great stuff for ESPN. And so certainly we stay close to Allison.
And still a well-respected social media Contessa.
Yes. And Jessica Blaylock has done a fine job in her first week in the big leagues. Learning last night the ins and outs of a rain delay. But you know what? It happened to Allison many times too. Stands at first. Prado gets a 1-0. Takes it for a strike.
A lot of people tweeting what they did in the offseason, as we've kind of thrown that out there. I'll give you one after this pitch.
Runner goes. Stanton a great jump, and he has stolen second base. Ball bounces by Pierzynski. Second stolen base for Stanton.
Good to see. A little movement. Had that pitch been in the strike zone, whether it was a hit and run or not, Prado would have probably taken a cut because there was a lot of room in the infield. But the pitch way out of the zone, Stanton got to second easily. Yeah, Dory tweeted that she waited until the end of the season to have surgery on her shoulder. So that's good planning. Hope the shoulder's doing well.
Count 2-2. Martin Prado had a nice run with the Braves. Got to the big leagues. Established himself as an everyday player. Made an all-star team here. That was back in 2010. There is Michael Morse.
Martin Prado has played a lot of games in this ballpark, almost 350 here at Turner Field, and his average is 310.
Prado again into left field. That's a solid hit. Up with the ball is Kelly Johnson. Stanton holds there. Prado's got a hit. Miami at the corners. And here comes Michael Morse.
He just feels comfortable in this ballpark. couple of base hits last night, and that's that solid Martin Prado short and to the ball.
Watch Prado's foot. You see how it's not a giant kick. A very small step, and he got the foot down in plenty of time.
He limits the movement. Some guys can get away with a little more, but he keeps it pretty simple.
Now, you hear that term about a hitter that has a step, getting the foot on time. Tommy, what does that exactly mean?
Well, if you have that little lift, we used to see Hanley Ramirez go through this, and you don't get that front foot down in time, it's going to throw your timing all off. And I remember times we'd see Hanley go through periods where he wouldn't get it there, and when you keep it simple the way Prado does, it eliminates that.
Stanton and Prado at the corners. Morse doubled off the wall in center, his first AB. Cahill spins one and misses low. Ball and a strike. As much as the 3 runs in the first feels like a landslide for an offensively starved team, the importance of adding on can't be lost. Morse swings and misses, ball in the dirt. Prado holds first.
I think we've seen Michael Morse do that a few more times than he would like. Chase pitches, chase that breaking ball in the dirt. And when he gets locked in, you won't see that as often.
One, two. Cahill misses. The Marlins had hoped from the outset, and hopefully this develops, that their offense won't grow cold when Giancarlo Stanton is quiet. And that's kind of what's happened over the last week. That hit him. Morse's hit takes his base, bags are loaded, and here comes Marcell Ozuna. And you would think, Tommy, with the track record of guys like Morse, the emerging power of a guy like Ozuna, Gordon and Yelich up top of the lineup, that even if Stanton does have 5 or 6 days where he's quiet, like he has been the last 5 or 6 days.
That's a great point, just that, what you said, the 5 or 6 days the week. In the middle of the year, if Giancarlo's on a tear and he's got 25 home runs and he goes cold for a week, you're not as concerned as people are when he starts the season that way. But you're right. You throw in Prado in that group of guys who can surround him, and you don't want everybody to go cold at the same time.
Bases filled with Marlins. And a strike. Ozuna, as you saw, terrific with the bags loaded. A really good 2-strike hitter, and that's not something you usually say about a guy who's just turned 24. But Ozuna has had such a great year and a half. Pitched down low after playing very few games above Double-A. Stanton walked, stole a bag. Prado singled. Morse was hit.
Ozuna played 10 games at Jacksonville in Double-A. That's it.
Pulls that 1-1 pitch.
A lot of the guys had fun returning to Jacksonville and even going into Greensboro. Tom Kohler had a tremendous year in Jacksonville. 16-2 back in 2010.
In fact, tonight, back to the minors inside the Marlins, live after the post game. It debuts tonight, and almost in documentary fashion, following the Marlins through those 2 stops, and so many great memories for Yelich, Stanton, Ozuna, guys like Kohler. In the dirt, Stanton didn't get a good read, and he'll hold at third base. That's a tough one because angle-wise, you're not sure. It didn't get past Pierzynski. It kind of went up that first base line.
Keep in mind, our angle and even this angle much different from the one that Stanton has. The other part of that was good is that Prado didn't run Stanton off the bag. If you're the runner at second and even at first, you have to watch the guys ahead of you.
Cahill, 22 pitches this inning, 11 balls, 11 strikes. 53 total already. His 2-2 with the bags loaded and 1 out. In the air and out of play.
The other thing, if you're the runner, sometimes you can get some help from the hitter. Watch Ozuna. See, he's got a good, well, first he said no, then stay. That was a no, come on. Bottom line, a good choice by Giancarlo.
Fouled at the plate. Always like talking to Tony Perez about this spot. You hear so many people say he's looking for a ball to hit in the air and avoid the double play. And Tony, who is such a great run producer, said not true, not something he ever thought. He just looked for something he could drive, because if he thought hitting it in the air, oftentimes he would pop it up.
Yeah, I've heard that theory, something to drive. I've also heard just try to take it right back up the middle.
Breaking ball spins in.
And if you get that hanger, you'll end up driving it far enough for a sac fly anyway.
So bags are full. Count is full. And there's 1 out. Braves bullpen not in action yet, but there's a few guys standing around looking like it. 3-2. It's in. Nice at bat by Ozuna. And the Marlins have their 4th run. Marcell Ozuna, a bases loaded walk. And here comes Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, for an aggressive hitter who doesn't walk a lot, that was a good job by Marcell Ozuna.
Freddie Gonzalez is in. You know, my bad.
It's hard to see the bullpens here.
Well, it is. But Sugar Ray Marimon had stopped throwing, was just standing around. So when I looked down, he wasn't throwing. But he's heated up and he's coming in. Wes Kendall called to the bullpen. Braves make a change. 4-0 Miami.
In the midst of a pitching change, and it is an email and Twitter Tuesday. It's all about the offseason. We want to know how you spent those months leading up to the start of baseball. One Marlins player that had a busy offseason was Giancarlo Stanton. Take a look at the way he spent it. First off, he was in LA, did a bunch of intense training, running up those sand dunes and staying in shape. And then after that, all that hard work, Stanton took off for Europe with teammate AJ Ramos. The guys had a chance to visit Paris and Istanbul and some other cool places. He also judged the Miss Universe pageant that was held in Miami, and he was the cover boy of Sports Illustrated, had his body painted for that, and that was a very cool opportunity as well for him to meet Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And guys, we've actually got an email from Ian on the Jersey Shore. He wants to know what you guys think of Giancarlo's Sports Illustrated cover, and also, would you guys ever do that? Yeah, I want to hear that answer too.
Sugar Ray Marimon. The Colombian delivers his first pitch in the major leagues.
Yeah, making his debut, and I'm sure all eyes from one of the Braves starting pitchers, Julio Teheran, are on Marimon. Teheran and Marimon are cousins.
Bags loaded. And it's in. So she wanted to know if we would pose and get our bodies painted for Sports Illustrated.
I wasn't home when they made that call.
Two-0 pitch. Saltalamacchia drills it. Foul. Jared Saltalamacchia struck out back in the first. Miami has 4 runs, trying to get Saltalamacchia on track offensively is a priority for the Fish right now as well.
Now you get Salty on track with Etch, who it looks like is swinging the bat a little bit better. Now all of a sudden you really lengthen the lineup. Got a tweet from Aza. Aza wants to know, is D. Gordon the fastest Marlin ever, or does that go to Emilio Bonifacio? You could also throw Juan Pierre in there.
How about Chuck Carr?
Chuck Carr, that'd be a good relay race.
Marimon, good changeup. Throws a fastball. And Saltalamacchia fouls it at the plate. His parents were big boxing fans. Sugar Ray Leonard, their favorite. Time called. Saltalamacchia steps out.
Rich, we were talking about this earlier. You may remember this, but Jazz says that first name on uniforms thought that Vita Blue had Vita for a period of time.
Knowing Charlie Finley, I think that's accurate. And he may have worn that as a Giant as well. Here's the 2-2. Struck him out. Saltalamacchia strikes out. And so Echeverria now with bags loaded and 2 outs.
No, remember when the Braves made that move and designated Juan Jaime? They wanted to bring up another pitcher who could give them some innings in the bullpen. And we're getting a look at Marimon right now.
Echeverria singled in the second. Takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. That's the first strikeout in Marimon's career. And so they take the ball out of play. Slow tapper. Simmons just gets Echeverria. Miami gets a run, but they leave them loaded and lead it in Atlanta 4-0. lead. We referenced earlier in the show some of the really cool super slow-mo stuff that we were able to capture on Phantom Cam during spring training. This from a camera above the mound, giving you Tom Kohler.
Boy, the thing that impresses me there is as you watch, you see how he tucks and then hides the ball really well and then opens up, watches back foot. It comes off the rubber. Most pitchers do that, not to the excess of Carter Capps. But the key to that whole thing and watching that on Phantom Cam in super slow-mo was how he tucks and hides the ball so well.
Andrelton Simmons, the pitcher's spot. Sugar Ray is on deck. And then Eric Young Jr., top of the order. For the Braves in the third. Simmons takes a fastball for a strike. Kohler's given up a double to Nick Markakis, and that's it so far tonight. Email from Benjamin out in Texas. Breaking ball misses out. Rich and Tommy, have you guys noticed that the new pace of play rules have been effective? And has it made a noticeable difference in games?
Well, I read a note today that just tracking the first week of play, there was about an 8 minutes difference. 8 minutes quicker in games overall.
Just week one of what, 26?
Yeah.
On the season. So I think Major League Baseball isn't really trumpeting that as big stuff. Nice play by Gordon and nice play by Morse. D. Gordon to his right. Michael Morse picks it. And you can see Gordon right away chattering at Morse for that help on the throw.
Yeah, way to pick me up. He made a nice play to get over, picked that ball to his backhand, and then got help from the big guy over at first.
Sugar Ray Marimon not only getting his first inning in the big leagues, his first strikeout, but his first at bat. He's getting it all out of the way in about a 10-minute span. Benjamin has the end of his question is, have you guys had to make any adjustments to your telecast to accommodate for the new rules? Here's the 1-1. I think we're a little tidier in and out. I have to speed through the disclaimer
to get through. You've taken a second and a half. I noted that the other night.
It's only week one. Marimon is going to get a base hit in his first major league at bat, and it's a 60-foot dribbler up the third baseline. Going to save that baseball along with his first strikeout.
Yeah, he's getting everything out of the way quickly. No chance for Martin Prado. So his first strikeout, his first major league appearance, and first strikeout, and then first professional hit. He's not a kid. He's 27 years old. He was originally signed by Kansas City.
Eric Young Jr. bounced to second back in the first. Henry says that Chili Davis went by Chili on one of his jerseys. So Vida, Chili. There's a 1-1 and a strike.
What was it, years ago when the Braves first started on the Super Network? Andy Messersmith, I think it only lasted one night. He wore number 17, and Ted Turner had him put channel above it, channel 17.
A soft line drive, Prado across the diamond, and Marimon is back in.
So that's how the Superstation started.
Whether it's a family celebration, networking event, or a fundraiser for your organization, arrange your next group outing at Marlins Park. Just ask about the all-new food and beverage options, including VIP groups, all-you-can-eat seats, and the new Clevelander Sunday brunch, 1877 Marlins. Go to marlins.com/groups. High pop off the bat of Callaspo. Echeverria calls. Echeverria catches. 3 innings complete here in Atlanta. Miami with 4 early runs and a 4-0 lead. Back in Atlanta, and yes, the rain is back as well as it starts to fall. Really in earnest for the first time tonight. It's the 4th. It's 4-0 Miami on top. Sugar Ray Marimon. We'll get Tom Kohler, then D. Gordon, and then Ichiro. Of course, we've had that email early in our email Twitter Tuesday about players or athletes that have appeared with just their first name on the back of their jersey, and it spreads a little further than baseball. As Kohler stands in. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Tony Conigliaro, Boston Red Sox player. For the Angels in '71 wore Tony C.
Interesting. I would have thought maybe with Boston, but when he went on to I think they were the California Angels at that time.
Ken Harrelson is known by the nickname Hawk now. That's what he wore on the back of his jersey in 1969 with the Cleveland Indians. When I was a kid growing up in the Bay Area, Giants had a shortstop named Johnny LeMaster who didn't hit a lot, and Giant fans weren't real pleasant when their team wasn't playing well, and they took it out on LeMaster. And so one day he showed up, popped out of the dugout, instead of LeMaster on his jersey, it said boo.
Good sense of humor by the slick fielding shortstop.
One fouled out of play. And the fan that said Vida Blue had Vida on the back of his jersey, and I mentioned that Charlie Finley was into that kind of thing. He had
the catfish
for Jim Hunter, Campy Campaneris for Bert Campaneris wore Campy. There's a liner off the bat of D. Gordon, his second hit of the ball game. Gordon is 2 for 3, and he's aboard with 1 out. He's a candidate certainly to be running here with Ichiro at the plate.
We have talked about all the influences on D. Gordon, from Brett Butler to Perry Hill. I think Ichiro, with the type of hitter he is having an influence on D. Gordon. He's had a great approach, 2 super swings in this one tonight, and already a 2 for 3 evening.
Dick Allen, the great slugger, at one time had wampum on the back of his jersey.
And he was from Wampum, Pennsylvania.
That was not a ode to the Cleveland Indians at the time. Deacon Jones of the fearsome foursome wore Deacon on the back when he was with the San Diego Chargers.
See, I followed the Rams as a kid, but he didn't have that as a Ram. He was with the Chargers.
The toy cannon, Jimmy Wynn just put cannon on the back. That was the 76 Braves that did a lot of that. Roland Office put ROW. There goes the runner. Gordon, a great jump. Slides in under the throw. 2 stolen bases tonight. Dee Gordon is off to a flying start in 2015. He's getting on base. His on-base percentage is close to 400. And he has swiped 6 bases on the season already.
He's got that straight-on slide. I think one time we saw him with the head-first slide. Only Billy Hamilton of the Reds with more steals. He has 7. Dee Gordon with 6 now.
Ichiro lines it over Brett Butler's head. Ichiro, a line drive out in the 3rd to left, and he walked and scored in the 1st. Credit the crack staff for coming up with all the names and the history of names on the back. Man in scoring position, 1 out. Great speed out there. Dee Gordon. Ichiro with a count 1-2. Up the middle, Gordon avoids it. Stumbling is Simmons. Out at first. Very close. Boy, Andrelton Simmons may have been screened by Dee Gordon on that. Mike Redmond is on the top step looking back. The play is being reviewed by the Marlins video team. And from that angle, you don't see the ball go in the glove. That one, he's out.
He got him. That's a great regroup by Simmons, who got rid of the ball so quickly. He makes the play. A lot of shortstops can make the play, but then they have a hard time transitioning to get the throw out. Boy, he got it in a hurry and got rid of it quickly.
And definitely he was screened by Gordon on the play, but recovered. Stanton now. See if he gets something to hit first base open. He does. A fastball for a strike. RBI single in the 1st. Walked and stole a base in the 3rd, and he has scored runs in both of those innings. Morimon misses away.
It's hard to imagine, Rich, with Ichiro getting up the line, as we pointed out earlier, better than major league average. It's hard to imagine that at one time in his career that wouldn't have been close. He'd had the infield base hit.
That was, you know, a dozen years ago.
I remember when he first came up seeing highlights of ground balls to second base and second baseman unaware of the blazing speed, and he beat those out.
And a lot of that had to do not only with his speed but his swing, which had him started towards first as he finished the swing. 1-1. Stanton shoots it against the shift into right. Gordon will score. How about that?
Well, the lights go on right there. That was a little bit of an excuse me swing. I don't know if he intended to do that, but all of a sudden the lights should go on and say, hey, RBI's come that way. A lot of room open on that right side. There it is. He wanted to hold off on the swing because the pitch was down. But look at the opening with the second baseman, Callaspo, near second base. The ball just dribbles through and an RBI single for Giancarlo.
Right, so Stanton, his second RBI hit. He's at first with 2 outs. Miami adds another run, and it's 5-0. Now Prado. Sacrifice fly and a single. Breaking ball almost hit him. We've had a few tweets about Christian Yelich from fans that have just tuned in and have seen Ichiro in the 2 spot. Yelich, tightness in his back is listed as day to day. I would expect tomorrow will be an off day for him as well. It's a noon start. In fact, our pregame show is breakfast with Craig and Preston. And that's an 11:30 start on Fox Sports Florida. Marlins Live.
We're trying to find a way to have some alcohol-free mimosas up in the booth here.
Orange juice and seltzer. How's that?
That's as good as we can get right there.
There was a time when it was encouraged that baseball announcers drink during the course of a game. Brunch with the Fish, South Florida Honda dealers, and it's Jackie Robinson Day. The lefty Eric Stoltz on the mound for the Braves. Dan Herron for the Fish. Herron doing his homework today. He was in the video room watching the Braves, doing his scout and pre-stuff, because baseball players are creatures of habit. They're not used to playing noon games. Sunday 1 o'clock is usually the earliest.
Even a spring training game starts at 1.
Here's a 1-2. Prado lifts it in the air. Callaspo is out and there and makes the catch. But Miami adds a run, a resourceful single by Giancarlo. Authentic Philly cheesesteak. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. 2 for $5 by Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're going to love us. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. This a radar capture starting at 7 p.m. and leading up till now, 8:23 here in Atlanta. The clouds and the cells, so to speak, of moisture, not that intimidating, but all those X's are not my exes that live in Texas. They are lightning. And that's of concern as well to the officials here in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think the lightning is a little more of a concern right now than the severity of the rain. And we'll try to keep you posted.
Kohler with a changeup to Nick Markakis, and he fouls it off. Markakis leading it off for Atlanta.
Keep you posted on a Mets-Phillies score. Mets have a 4-3 lead, but Matt Harvey giving up a couple of home runs. Cody Ashley and Chase Utley have homered against Harvey.
Boy, Utley had struggled mightily coming into the night. Swing and a miss. Markakis is down. Kohler has a strikeout to open up the bottom of the fourth. And here is Freddie Freeman. Emails and tweets tonight on this Email and Twitter Tuesday. Zachary has an interesting lineup question, Tommy Hutt. And it's this: do you think it would help for the pitcher to hit 8th so there are 3 hitters in front of Stanton after the first lineup goes through?
Well, Zachary's trying to cover all the bases because that was also a tweet from Zachary. But, you know, it's an interesting theory because it seems like more and more teams, the other night the Cubs and Cardinals played, both teams had their pitcher hitting 8th and had a hitter, a position player, hitting 9th. It would get you some guys ahead of Giancarlo Stanton, and it also goes to those who feel Stanton should hit in the number 4 spot, because then you could have those 3 hitters, whoever they might be, in front of Stanton. So far, I kind of like it the way it is, but you know what? As the season goes on, you're always open to change.
If you had him in the 4 spot, how does your lineup look going in and behind him?
Well, if you had him in the 4th spot, then you'd have D. Gordon, you'd have Prado, and you'd have Christian Yelich hitting 3rd. Now the question is, at 23, is Christian Yelich established to hit in that number 3 spot? And then you have Morse Ozuna, or Ozuna Morse. Now you're back to 7 and 8 with Salty and Echeverria. For me, I still kind of like Stanton coming up in that first inning, though.
Two fastball is up to Freddie Freeman. Braves have 2 hits. Tom Kohler looking for his first career win against the Braves. This is his 11th appearance, his 8th start. Freeman clobbers it right field deep. Stanton back at the wall, and it's gone. And for Freddie Freeman, his 2nd of the season.
Let's see where this pitch is. Fastball, belt high, middle of the plate, launched by Freeman. We talked about the numbers of Kohler against the Braves. Here at Turner Field, Tom Kohler has a 2.52 ERA in 5 games and 4 starts, but a 0-0 record. Freeman got all of that one.
To right, Pierzynski, Stanton, it's gone. Back to back go the Braves here in the 4th. First it's Freeman, and now it's Pierzynski, and it's the 2nd time he's homered against Kohler this year.
Pierzynski is 3 for 8 on the season. 2 of those 3 have been home runs, and they've each come against Tom Kohler. Let's see if he gets the fastball. That might have been a changeup. Two pitches with each with a little too much of the plate for a couple of good hitters.
Echeverria behind the bag on to first in time. Chris Johnson Here's the second out of the bottom of the fourth. 5-2 Miami on top. And here is Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, the one to Freeman was the fastball, and Pierzynski hit a changeup.
Jared wants to know, fifth starter until Henderson Alvarez is healthy. Will it be David Phelps? In fact, Phelps has been inserted into the rotation. Out on paternity leave. He will join the team in New York and will start Friday against the Mets at Citi Field. Obviously a familiar city for him, coming from the New York Yankees. Phelps and his family welcoming a son yesterday, and a starting assignment on Friday. If everything falls right in the Mets rotation, that will be against Bartolo Colon. The Marlins at this point line up seeing Colon on Friday, DeGrom on Saturday, Harvey on Sunday.
None of that official, but that's the way it kind of sets up right now. Good pitch.
Kelly Johnson takes called strike 3. The Braves get 2 back on 2 long balls. Freddie Freeman and A.J. Pierzynski. To delay the game. We've been talking about off-season, what players have done in the off-season. For Tommy Hutton, take us through your off-season.
Well, there's always a little golf involved. That was a nice foursome there. My son, good friend of mine, Warren, Frank Rich. And we had our first grandchild, little baby Layla Marina Hutton. Had to go skiing a little bit. You know, you got to keep in shape, go out to Colorado. So the off-season with little Layla has been spectacular.
Outstanding. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Miami's offense has sparked to life with 5 runs through the first 4 innings. Michael Morse takes a breaking ball. Marcell Ozuna, Jared Saltalamacchia follow in the 5th. Sugar Ray Marimon in relief of Trevor Cahill. Makes a catch. All right. My offseason was spent in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, wait a minute.
That was a getaway. That was the Fox seminar down in Los Angeles.
Very informative.
Yes, great resort. That little college basketball.
Where was that?
That was actually at Tulsa for a showdown with Oklahoma
Ah, there you go.
And I did watch a lot of cross country and dance. My oldest is a track athlete running cross country and track. And my youngest is a dancer, big into dance and theater.
Yeah, fun to watch.
Breaking ball, Marcelo Ozuna fouls it back. Count is 0-2. Marimon took over for Cahill in the third. For Cahill, his first start as a Brave. Came over at the end of spring training in a trade from Arizona. Soft little pop, and Freeman, look out. Wow, he went into that tarp almost at full speed, and that's really treacherous. Not a lot of padding there. It's essentially the tarp wrapped around a metal tube.
Ah, there's that good changeup.
Tonight, inside the Marlins, back to the minors. Jessica Blaylock takes you back to the team's preseason trip to play their minor league affiliates, Jacksonville and Greensboro. Here from Mike Hill, Marty Scott, many more around the organization during the premiere of Inside the Marlins, back to the minors tomorrow after Marlins Live. Or excuse me, tonight. Immediately following the ball game.
Got a tweet from Kelly. Kelly said, my son Blake is wondering how many home runs have happened in a row like that, like the Braves just did back-to-back home runs.
So what's the major league record for most home runs?
Well, I think it's more how many happens back-to-back. It seems to be a fairly regular occurrence in the major leagues. As far as the record is how many in a row, I'm going to say 4, maybe 5. You'll have to do your research, Blake, on that one.
Turns Altamaki, a fly ball out to left field, and a quick inning for Sugar Ray.
Braves 5-2. It is an email and Twitter Tuesday, and the topic of tonight's tweets and emails, my off season. We want you to use that hashtag my off season. Send your tweets to @FoxMarlins. Your emails can go to foxmarlins@gmail.com. And speaking of what people did during the off season, we got this tweet from Enrique. He worked on a little bit of art, Marlins art in particular, Billy the Marlin. Take a look at that piece of artwork. That is impressive, Enrique. Just a reminder, keep those tweets and emails coming. We want you to use that hashtag #MyOffSeason. Rich and Tommy, up to you.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Tom Kohler facing Andrelton Simmons, a fastball. And Simmons takes a strike. I think it's an important inning for Tom Kohler. A 5-0 lead going into the fourth. Back-to-back homers by Freddie Freeman and A.J. Pierzynski. Simmons fouls it off. Sugar Ray Marimon is on deck. And then Eric Young Jr. at the top of the order.
Well, Marimon is 1 for 1 as a major leaguer.
That's right.
But I absolutely agree, Rich. A very important inning for Tom Kohler to just get back in a groove, reestablish things.
Stanton is there and he makes the catch, and Simmons is out number 1.
A lot of people have tweeted that what they did in the offseason was watch the replays on Fox Sports Florida of Marlins baseball. So we like the dedication. Thank you.
Marimon making his major league debut out of the bullpen. Had a little dribbler up the third base line for a hit. We count 1-1 from Kohler. Next 2 games brought to you by BMW. 11:30 for Marlins Live tomorrow. Braves and Marlins at 12:10. And then Mets and Marlins. It's a Dylan G. Jared Cozart matchup on Thursday night. 6:30 start for Marlins Live on Thursday. First pitch at 7:10 from Citi Field. Be interesting to see the new dimensions. Right center field has been adjusted again at Citi Field. Marimon swings and misses. According to the Mets internal research, the guy that will be most affected by that will be Curtis Granderson. He hit, I think it was 6 balls last year that they measured with the new dimensions would have gone out.
Yeah, there were 3 guys I think they really had in mind. Lucas Duda, certainly, with his left-handed power, and also David Wright with the way he drives the ball into right center into that area as well. But right now it seems to be affecting Matt Harvey. He's given up a couple of home runs to left-handed hitters.
Of course, they'll keep that research as well. How many opponent home runs go out with the new dimensions? Second time, actually the third time they've adjusted the dimensions. The first one was a slight one. It was the center field. They just lowered the line in center field. The second one was the big one where they came up with the Great Wall of Flushing was turned into a party area, the 2-0 pitch.
But it is still 4-3 Mets in that Mets-Phillies game.
We have some Tyler Kolek questions that have floated in. Wanting to know how he's been doing, how far he is away from the big leagues. He's a long ways from the big leagues, to be honest with you. Just a teenager when drafted, right out of high school. Crack staff right now efforting to find Tyler Kolek's numbers so far. The minor leagues underway. Fastball up, and the fast man is aboard at first base. Our Geico MLB moment. This date in Major League history, the Montreal Expos beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the first Major League game played outside the United States. Parc Jarry, which was, as you see, Hall of Fame broadcaster Dave Van Horn on the left. Hall of Fame broadcaster Felo Ramirez is hiding behind the Geico sign on the right. There he is.
Yeah, there's Felo.
Hey, 2 Hall of Famers in the house. How about that? And you were an Expo. That was your home park. What was Jerry Park or Parc Jarry all
Jerry
about.
Park was in existence when I was a member of the Phillies, so I played there as a visiting player. Once I got traded to Montreal, they had moved into
The
Olympic Stadium. But many times, being in the same division, visited Jerry Park. It was like a there were tennis courts in a swimming pool in right field. It was a classic community park, it looked like, yet there were stands, and it didn't hold 40,000. But was there excitement ever when the Expos came to town?
There's been excitement when Major League Baseball has gone back into Montreal the last 2 years with exhibition games, full houses at the Big O, and there is talk, as Kohler may have crossed up Saltalamacchia and he's out for a chat. There's talk that there's a groundswell all of a sudden of not only support from fans, but possibly the financial community as well. There's that last pitch from
a little mix up there
to get baseball back in Montreal.
It'll be interesting to see.
I think everyone agrees there needs to be either a ballpark or a plan for a park. Young is running. Saltalamacchia's throw sails into center field. Up with the ball is Ozuna. His throw to third, and it's not in time. The rain coming down harder, and you would expect that one sailed out of the hand of Saltalamacchia. Young with a stolen base, and on the throwing air, he's 90 feet away as the Braves try to add another run here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, you can tell by the way this ball comes out of Saltalamacchia's hand. There's some dampness. You can also maybe tell in the efforts of Tom Kohler, but he just wants to get this out here, make this an official game. By the way, we have found Tyler Kolek. He's pitching for the Greenboro Grasshoppers.
To right, Stanton in the gap is there and makes the catch. We'll get to that Kolek update when we return. Tom Kohler does get through 5 with a 5-2 lead. Turner Field in Atlanta. The Marlins jumping to a 5-0 lead. The Braves a pair of home runs in the fourth. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Jessica Blaylock, and Danny Echeverria against Sugar Ray at Morimon. It's fouled back to the screen on a bunt attempt by Echeverria. 6th inning rolls around. We have shown you the radar earlier. Rain in the area, but that's not the biggest threat. There's lightning, not over the ballpark yet, but it is in the area. So the authorities have been watching that closely.
And we also told you we were going to give you the numbers on the young Tyler Kolek. And Kolek's in Greensboro. He's had one start so far this year, 4 1/3 innings, giving up 4 hits and 3 runs. And the ERA is 6.23. So he's got his work cut out for him. But he has the ability.
Echeverria 1 for 2 in this ball game, 2 for 3 last night. And one takeaway from that opening week for the Marlins, 1-6 start. The fact that the bottom of the order had really struggled. Echeverria with 3 hits in the last 2 nights, but he and Jared Saltalamacchia in that 7 and 8 spot. They have not been off to a great start offensively.
Remember, we had a question from the youngster Blake about the back-to-back home runs. The most back-to-back home runs was 4 in a row, and that's happened 7 times. Most recently by the Diamondbacks in 2010.
Boy, it looks like Echeverria is breaking out of it. He drives it into the gap and never slows down and has himself a double. Good swings. 2 hits last night, 2 hits tonight.
Stays inside, doesn't hook that ball, shoots it right back up the middle. Good with his hands on that swing. Yeah, those 4 guys with the Diamondbacks: Adam LaRoche, Miguel Montero, Mark Reynolds, and Stephen Drew.
What are the odds that the same pitcher gave up all 4? Not very good, right? I mean, you would think they'd make a pitching change.
I think they'd make a change.
Kohler shortens the bunt, drops it down first base side. Freeman is going to go over to first and get the out. T-Mobile game changer. We go back to yesterday. Mookie Betts. Don't look at the 2 for 4 or the home run or the catch. How about 2 stolen bases on 1 pitch? Betts stealing second. The shift was on. He popped up and raced to third and got there safely. 11 times since the early 1900s it's happened in Major League Baseball. That would be a game changer, a T-Mobile game changer. D. Gordon with a chance to give Miami another run here. Echeverria moved up on the bunt. Gordon's 2 for 3. And he hits that one in the air. I don't know that Kelly Johnson would catch it if he could. Would you catch it if you could, Tommy Hunt?
Not in those wet seats.
No, but I mean, say you were Kelly Johnson and he was able to get to it with 1 out, a ground ball guy.
Yeah, it's early enough in the game. Yeah, it's the 6th inning.
So let it go or catch it?
Catch it.
Okay.
And by the way, as a hitter in D. Gordon's case, who's not a power long ball type hitter, you stay with your same approach. You don't try to hit a fly ball.
Well, he gets that one in the air to left. That's plenty deep. Johnson's back, and he makes the catch. Echeverria tags and scores. So
but
Miami,
if you do, you pick up an RBI and another run.
Well, Miami doing some big things right early with a 3-run first, and now some little things right. A sacrifice bunt, a sacrifice fly, and a 6-2 lead.
Yeah, that's just nice baseball. Leadoff double. Good job by Tom Kohler with the bunt. That brought the infield in and set the stage for D. Gordon. Got a tweet from Michael. Michael says, my offseason, I met Rich Waltz at Marlins winter warm-up. Got a nice picture, Rich, of you and Michael.
Michael, next offseason, aim higher. Simmons is there and makes the catch. Miami adds a run and leads at 6-2. 2015. A variety of new season ticket packages include prorated full season, half season, 20-game mini plans, and the new 10-game packs. Plans start at just $240. Secure your seats today, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. Tom Kohler throws a strike to Nick Markakis. Freddie Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski in the 6th. Now remember, the last time Kohler started against the Braves, he had pitched 6 scoreless innings, and the Marlins tried to get another inning out of him, and that's when he gave up the 2-run homer to Pierzynski. He gave up solo shots back-to-back, Freeman and Pierzynski in the 4th. 1-1. Look out.
I mean, you look at it this way, if you're Mike Redmond, 6 would be really nice from Tom Kohler. 7 would be outstanding. So the pitch count in pretty good shape right now. It's 76. This is an important inning because he's got some big boppers. 3 left-handed hitters, Markakis, Freeman, and Pierzynski.
One-two. Hit hard. Oh, and it bounces right over the glove of Morse. Picking it up is Stanton. Morse went to get it. He's wiping his face. I don't know if he got a mouthful of dirt or the ball grazed his mouth.
As he dives and gets the glove down, the ball bounces, takes a nasty hop. Watch his hop. And goes over the glove and just under the bill of his cap.
Almost looked like it grazed in the side of his face or in the mouth area.
Normally the amount of rain we've had here the last couple of days is good for this infield because this infield is usually pretty hard.
Base hit for Markakis. That uppercut swing by Freddie Freeman, who's lined to center and homered to right. A 1. And it's in. JT Realmuto probably going to get a start tomorrow. Fastball misses in.
I've had a few tweets and emails about JT.
Yeah, Roger, the latest, wanted to know when Realmuto was going to get a start, and with the lefty Stoltz going tomorrow in a day game after a night game, it sounds like Realmuto gets the start tomorrow. A.J. Ramos in Miami's pen, a breaking ball called strike from Kohler, and an even count to Freeman.
Tom Kohler's been nice and aggressive tonight. Throwing some good curveballs. That was a very good one to Freeman.
Freeman didn't get all of that one.
Good pitch after the curveball.
Ozuna comes charging in and makes the catch.
He came up a little bit up and in with the fastball and tied up Freeman just enough to get the lazy fly ball. Remember the curveball. Now he goes up and in, right in there. That's a perfect pitch any way you look at it, and even better coming after a nice curveball.
Interesting question, a timely question from Phil. Rich and Tommy, what's your take on Carter Capps' hop off the mound during his pitch delivery? Will Major League Baseball umpires allow it?
Been a lot of topic of discussion here in Atlanta.
Up the middle into center field. Pierzynski has a hit. Markakis stops at second. And the Braves have first and second, with Ramos getting ready and Chris Johnson coming up. See Ramos in the pen. Carter Capps pitched last night.
Yeah, to your question, that the answer I have is that in seeing him last night, it appears that he's even extended it further, his crow hop off the pitching rubber to close to 2 feet. It didn't seem like it was that much last year. And that could be some concern to Major League Baseball. I know last night Freddie Gonzalez asked Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, before the game. He said, if that guy pitches tonight, is that okay? And Jeff Kellogg said, yes, it's okay.
Here's Johnson pulling it foul. Now we know that Capps, much like Jordan Walden, the former Brave, disengages, hops, and throws. The one thing that Major League Baseball told the Marlins is in the last couple of days is what they're looking for all pitchers who pretty much disengage from the rubber, whether you're Tim Lincecum or Carter Capps. What they're looking for is some sort of toe drag. And you saw at the tail end of the delivery the toe actually dragged. They're looking, I think, for a little more pronounced drag. The Marlins actually had a bullpen session with Capps today going through the delivery because they don't want Capps to really change it and injure himself. I think with Capps, the hop is so pronounced, and it happens well before he releases the ball, that people see the distance he is from the rubber. But if you watch most Major League pitchers in slow motion,
we had that shot super slow of Tom Kohler
just
earlier.
Google Tim Lincecum and watch him just before he releases the ball. He's well out in front of the rubber as well. Maybe not as far as Capps, and as you pointed out, Tommy, and I think you're right, he's a little more pronounced this year than he was last year.
And I think what stands out and is most pronounced about Capps' delivery is that he has a hop. He crow hops with it.
Well, and he's tall, and he also...
And he throws 100 miles an hour.
He also is a pretty big stride. 3-1 count, Kohler spinning. Kohler trying to get Chris Johnson here.
If it depends on what happens here with Chris Johnson. All of a sudden the pitch count at 88. This could be the last hitter Tom Kohler faces.
This could be the last pitch he throws. Ramos is ready.
Guy hits into a lot of double plays. Tom Kohler'd love one right here.
Markakis at second, Pierzynski at first. Up and in. He lost it. So with one out in the bottom of the sixth, the Braves have the bags loaded. Mike Redmond turns to Chuck Hernandez. And here comes Red. Redmond points to the bullpen. Here comes Ramos. Kendall Toyota, West Kendall Toyota, called to the pen. A.J. Ramos can extract the Marlins out of this bottom of the 6th inning without a lot of damage. Miami a 6-2 lead here in Atlanta. Kelly Johnson, left-handed bat that's got some pop. And here is Ramos making appearance number 5. As we noted, this 1-6 start has kind of short-circuited a lot of the normal routine for the Marlins, and one of those is a bullpen that has been used on a consistent basis and has been able to find their rhythm. The pen really hasn't been able to do that.
This is never an easy situation for any pitcher, but A.J. Ramos, who at times will struggle with his control, so to come in with bases loaded, there's no place to put Kelly Johnson. And Ramos in his 4 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, but 4 walks.
Swing and a miss. Confident enough to throw back-to-back changeups.
Yeah, there's no way Kelly Johnson was looking for that either.
High pop-up. Prado, Echeverria. Echeverria's there. Infield fly is called. And Echeverria makes the catch. And the Braves have to hold. Bag still loaded. 2 outs. Nice out to get if you're A.J. Ramos. Andrelton Simmons now.
Tell you what, it has been pretty much the last 2-3 innings just a steady rain. Not light, not real heavy, but coming down pretty good.
Simmons has bounced out, flied out. Lines it to right. Stanton in there, makes the catch. 6 innings have passed. Giancarlo, Martin Prado, Michael Morse coming up.
Inning. Well, the Marlins clubhouse, you walked into it earlier today, and it had a little bit of a different look to it. There were bats all over the place and a sign that said, "Do not pick up the bats." Asked around, got down to the bottom of the story with Jared Saltalamacchia. He said, hey, you drop the bats, you try and wake them up. And Rich, Tommy, I have a feeling that if this game continues the way it has so far, we will see those bats back on the ground in the clubhouse tomorrow.
Yeah, watch your step in the clubhouse tomorrow.
Well, nice. Speaking of adjustments, nice adjustment by you, Jess.
Look at that.
Thank you. You know, I said, Blaylock, act like you've been there before. It's going to rain. Maybe grab an umbrella.
Very nice. Giancarlo Stanton is up. Sugar Ray Marimon continues on for the Braves. Stanton 2 for 2. Both RBI hits. And he's walked, and a changeup floats just outside. Toyota Trend, slow starter traditionally. But he kicks it into gear usually around May. 3-0. You see plate appearances per home run, slugging percentage, March and April in his career. Fastball for a strike, 3-1.
You and I were talking before the game, Rich, about Giancarlo had not received an intentional walk so far this year, having received 24 last year. But with the slow start that he's gotten off to, he's seen some pitches to hit.
All right, Marimon missed with off speed. He's come back with 2 fastballs to get strikes. And he throws a changeup. Stanton doesn't bite, and he walks. Both the walks are a good sign for Stanton. The singles, one was a bolt into left center field. The other, Stanton actually crossed up the shift, took an outside fastball and punched it through the right side to drive in a run. There's your Marlins box score.
So Giancarlo on base all 4 times. And Sugar Ray Marimon is doing everything that a manager wants in this case for Freddie Gonzalez. He's sucking up some innings, not going to his bullpen and using numerous guys.
Fastball up. We thank those that have joined us tonight on email and Twitter Tuesday. Many of the fans have emailed, or actually tweeted, at Fox Marlins with photos of their off-season endeavors. A lot of artists out there, including Eric, who sent a cool painting. There's how to get a hold of us. Hashtag it MyOffSeason. Email at foxmarlins@gmail.com or at foxmarlins on Twitter.
And you can see a lot of that artwork that has been sent in.
I've been hoping, and it didn't happen the first email Twitter Tuesday, but it's happened tonight. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's out. Joy Taylor. Zaslow and Joy, 790 the ticket. At Joy Taylor Talks. Was hoping for a shot of her in her pajamas. And I think we've got one. Right center. And Markakis is there. And makes the catch. And she's watching in her Marlin pajamas. Joy Taylor. Friend of the show.
I wonder if Zaslow has Marlins pajamas.
He has Heat jammies. So I don't think he calls them that.
Good night from Michael Morse as far as swinging the bat. RBI double. He was hit by a pitch, and then he lined out to short. He hit that ball well.
Stanton still at first, 1 out. 6 runs, 8 hits for Miami. And that one is scalded into center field. Morse with his second hit of the night, and here comes Marcell Ozuna.
Well, there'll be some more relaxed guys. There's a relaxed hitting coach too, and Frank Menachino, Lenny Harris included. So 2 hitting coaches feeling a little bit better tonight with what they've seen.
Freddie Gonzalez on his way out to the mound. His bullpen is ready. Wes Kendall, Toyota, called to the bullpen. Sugar Ray Morimon, his major league debut. Plans start as low as $240. Include tickets to some of the season's biggest games at Marlins Park. Quantities limited, so secure your 10-game plan today. Call 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. Well, the Marlins saw a lot of this right-hander, Brandon Caniff. 5th appearance. He, like many of the other Braves relievers, has yet to give up a run this season.
Not only has he not given up a run, Rich, he's not given up a hit in his 4 innings of work.
Stanton at second. Morse at first. Ozuna takes a strike. Marlins have seen enough of Cody Martin to know that he's really good, making his major league debut out of the Atlanta pen. Caniff, equally good. Ozuna takes away. Marcel has flied out, a walk with the bases loaded, has struck out. Balls and a strike. We've got vacation photos, art, some snow photos, all on at Fox Marlins. Some fishing shots. 3-1. And Ozuna's walked for the second time. And that brings Jared Saltalamacchia up with the bags loaded. He had the bases loaded and 1 out in the 3rd, and he struck out. He was the first guy to face Morimon. So here it is again, bags loaded, 1 out.
Pretty soon Jared Saltalamacchia is going to cash in on one of these situations. He had a similar situation, bases loaded, less than 2 out in one of the games back home.
Caniff misses away. Dan Herron tomorrow for Miami. Eric Stoltz, a lefty, for Atlanta. And a very early start, 11:30. That means a quick turnaround tonight for everybody here with the Marlins and the Braves. Saltalamacchia fouls it back. One. Big swing by Saltalamacchia. He has struck out twice in this one. Right now, 2 for 20 on the season.
But also glaring in that 2 for 20, 10 strikeouts.
And he swings and misses and strikes out. And he leaves him loaded for the second time tonight.
So this is one of those games that, you know, you look at the score, feel okay, but it could be a blowout at this point because of the amount of times, the number of times the Marlins have had this situation.
Jose Urena has not pitched in the big leagues before. He's in the pen. And a strike to Echeverria. Echeverria swung the bat well tonight, singled, bounced to short, doubled. So 2 for 3 last night, 2 for 3 tonight.
There is Reed Brignac on deck. Just joined the ball club yesterday.
One and two. Struck him out. Kniff comes in and strikes out Saltalamacchia and Echeverria, and it's still 6-2. Sports Florida is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, inviting you to find your own lane. By Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, starring Kevin James, in theaters April 17th. And by Lexus of Pembroke Pines, price, service, selection. You're gonna love us. Downtown Atlanta, Braves captured Game 1 last night. Low-scoring affair. But the Marlins have a 6-2 lead here. Rain continues. Jace Peterson, coming off the Braves bench, will open up the bottom of the 7th. A.J. Ramos will stay out there. Ramos got the last 2 outs of the 6th. Peterson takes up. Peterson, his playing time cut a bit the last few days with Alberto Callaspo and Chris Johnson in the starting lineup. Callaspo getting the start at second.
Now Peterson came in last night, had a pinch hit base hit.
Two-sport star at McNeese State. There is Mike Dunn. Juan has a question coming from last night's ball game. Here's the 2-1. A swing and a miss. On Yelich's incredible catch, let's say the ball did hit the ground and is discovered after the challenge. Umpires have called it out, but it gets reversed. How are the base runners rewarded the bases since the play is basically dead? Is it one base or umpire judgment on placement of runners? It's actually a combination of a few things. Major League Baseball, for the review system, has a camera in every ballpark of a wide shot that captures the runner's placement as the play goes. 3-2 pitch, foul back. Tommy, if you were an umpire last night on that play with 2 outs and runners first and second, say Yelich doesn't catch it, where would you put the 2 runners?
I think they both would have scored, and Maben would have probably ended up at third base. So yeah, you're right. Part of it's judgment, but part of it is the overhead camera, which gives you a view of the runners.
Peterson has another pinch hit.
Now remember, there were 2 out, so the runners were going.
And actually, in talking to the Braves about that sequence, for Bo Porter, the third base coach, that's one of the reasons he kept the runners going, was in this day and age of replay and a play like that, the thinking for teams is keep the runners running and make the umpires put runners back rather than move them forward, if that makes any sense. Here's Eric Young Jr.
What fooled Bo Porter and Freddie and most of the Braves on the bench is the fact that Yelich's hat came off, and it appeared that as the hat was pointing back toward the field, that looked like a baseball.
The white emblem on the cap.
And that's what they were fooled at.
Nobody out. Peterson's at first. Eric Young Jr. takes a strike. Ramos with the count 3-1. What you don't want are the bases filled when Freeman, Pierzynski, and Johnson come up.
I'll tell you another thing you don't want. You don't want to have to every night rely on 3+ innings out of your bullpen. That's what you don't want to.
Last pitch from Ramos.
Might have gotten a call there.
He got him. Young doesn't like it. Home plate umpire Brian Onora rings him up. Young staring back at home plate. Onora shaking his head right back at him.
Well, I like the patience of Onora. He was consistent with both calls. That one actually was a little better than the one before. Some umpires may pull the trigger a little faster, but really Young didn't do anything to deserve being thrown out.
Now, full disclosure, our Fox track in the truck is out. That's the Marlins truck. Over on the Braves truck, that pitch was on the outside corner.
Yeah, that was
Fox
a better
tracks.
pitch than the one before, yeah.
I think you got a break on the one before. That one was on the corner on Fox tracks. That's strike 3. Callaspo swings and misses.
Where you have to look at the Braves, you have Eric Young in there. And Eric Young is a lifetime 250 hitter. Callaspo, is he going to continue on the way he's hitting? Track record tells you more than likely not. So have they gotten off to a good start? Yes, they have. And they have the pieces to kind of interchange all these guys. To see a Johnny Gomes play some night. Jace Peterson will get some starts.
To right, Stanton over there, and he makes the catch. Callaspo is out number 2, and here comes Nick Markakis. Woody from... Where's Woody these days? Is he up on the coast south of Jacksonville, or is he out in Tallahassee? He probably has spots in both
I think
places.
he has homes in both places.
Member of
yeah.
the crack staff, he's checked in.
Beach homes.
Yes. Palatial estates. Pitch misses in. But he's a loyal member, a crack staffer, baseball insider, all of those things. 1-0 pitch. Markakis check swing, and it ends up behind the plate. It's a foul ball. It's an email Twitter Tuesday. We thank everybody for sending all the stuff along. We apologize we haven't had a chance to dive into what's going on in Major League Baseball tonight. Here, the Marlins put 3 runs up in the first, race to a 5-0 lead, and have a 6-2 lead at the bottom of the 7th. The Nationals are going down to the Red Sox again. It's 8-7, top 9 in Boston.
I got a question.
All right.
That I have to get out there. I might not with 2 out.
Now's your chance.
Vinny, I want you to answer this. Solano's been hitting. I'm puzzled. Why haven't we seen him for 2 days? Where are you going to play him, Vinny? Where are you going to play him right now? Now let Vinny answer that.
That was not quite a rant, but it was a very forceful statement.
I mean, D. Gordon's your hottest hitter. All of a sudden, Echeverria has 4 hits the last 2 games. You're not going to take Martin Prado out, and Michael Morse has gotten hot. So, Vinny, where are you going to play him? So people ask those questions all the time, but they don't have an answer. It gets me going once in a while.
That had been simmering below the surface for Tommy for a few days, apparently. Two. Good, sharp breaking ball, and Ramos strikes out Markakis.
Good job after the leadoff base hit he allowed.
But Vinny, thanks for participating. And the hashtag is, what have you done in the off season, or what did you do in the off season? This one of the emails that we received, and it's simply a photo, and I'm not sure if the youngster sent it or his mother or father sent it, but look at the resemblance and the release point to Jose Fernandez.
And they're even both grimacing a little bit with the pitch. That's unbelievable. That's great.
Here's how to get a hold of us. You can do it with email at foxmarlins@gmail.com or hashtag #MyOffSeason or at FoxMarlins on Twitter.
Rich, remember in spring training we saw left-hander Andrew McCarahan a few times. The Marlins had picked him up in the Rule 5 draft from the Cubs. He obviously did not make the Marlins club, so he became available, and the Atlanta Braves picked him up on April 1st.
McCarahan faces Jeff Baker. And McCarahan misses high with the fastball. Now the Braves, much like the Marlins, have to adhere to the Rule 5 regulations. When you snatch someone off of a opposing roster in the Rule 5 draft, you have to keep them in the big leagues throughout the year, and if you don't, then you have to offer them back to the club. It costs you $50,000, I believe, to select a Rule 5 draft pick, and the club that loses the player, if he isn't on that team's major league roster, the original club can buy him back. I think it's $25,000.
And prior to this year, McCarahan had never pitched above Double-A.
He's facing Baker here in the 8th. Baker, D. Gordon, and then Ichiro. Gordon's had another nice night tonight. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, and a sacrifice fly.
Andrew McCarahan kind of has that Jacob deGrom haircut.
Well, if he can pitch like Jacob deGrom, he'll have a long career.
Yeah, he will. I think it's important to an at bat here for Jeff Baker to try to get himself on track too, because he'll be needed throughout the season.
We never know. He may get a start tomorrow. You might see Baker in the lineup someplace with a lefty on the mound, day game after a night game. Baker takes in, and he's aboard. Tomorrow's starter presented by Chevron. Bring on the car, bring on the music. Dan Herron, Eric Stoltz. And that's why you might see a guy like Baker. Probably see JT Realmuto behind the plate. 11:30 for Marlins Live. Gordon takes a strike. And the Red Sox did win that game. They beat the Nationals 8-7. The Nationals are 2-6. The Red Sox are 6-2.
See, a lot of our second guessers are tweeting that Solano should have pinch hit for Baker last night. Easy to say because Baker struck out.
Gordon into center field. Eric Young Jr. is there to make the catch.
But that's okay. This game's a great game to second guess. And that's why we have fans.
That's why we have email and Twitter Tuesday. The Reds are getting a terrific effort from Disco tonight. Anthony DeSclafani is throwing a one-hit shutout at Wrigley. And the Reds have a 3-0 lead over the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th. Mets 6-3 over the Phillies, bottom 7. Here is Ichiro. Ichiro 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Nice catch. Had the rain gear. Looked like he had his phone in the other hand.
Yeah, don't drop the phone unless you have the insurance.
Ichiro takes a strike, 1 and 2. Pitch well in. Ichiro getting the start tonight. You can see it on Fox Tracks. Had he not hit it, it almost seemed like it might hit him. Christian Yelich with tightness in his back. Ichiro gets the start, and you would think Yelich, with a noon start tomorrow, probably will have that game off as well. 1-2. Little tapper. It's a fair ball. Johnson's throw, and Ichiro beats it. And Miami's got runners first and second. Here comes Stanton.
Well, this is trouble from the get-go. Once Johnson had to get into foul territory to make that throw, Ichiro was able to beat it out.
Stanton tonight, 2 walks, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs, 1 stolen base. And McCarrahan gets a strike. Stanton a chopper under the glove of Johnson, and down the line it goes. Baker will score. Ichiro to third. They'll send him, and he will score. Stanton at second. We'll see how they call it. It could easily be a hit. Johnson trying to backhand it, and it scooted under his glove.
Yeah, it's a play that's certainly going to take above average effort to make it. Keep in mind the surface out there is a little wet, a little muddy. It skids, it skips, and it's going to be a 2-base hit for Giancarlo Stanton, and you tack on 2 more RBIs. So what a night for Big G. Good to see.
Driven in 4 runs, 8-2 Miami. Prado. Stanton getting to third, double clutching is Simmons, and Freeman bails him out.
Tell you what, Freeman's bailed out a lot of guys. Andrelton Simmons bailed out a lot of pitchers with plays.
This is a very good Braves defense, and those 2 guys are 2 of the reasons why. You got good speed in center with the young. Simmons, you're right. Simmons makes a lot of pitchers' mistakes into outs, and a lot of base hits that guys think are through or that they're going to beat out into infield outs.
And yes, Freddie Freeman's very solid over at first.
Yeah, that helps. Morse now with 2 outs. Stan getting a little taste of what it's like to be at third base when he's up right now. You know? I mean, I think we actually had a bite from Stanton. I don't know if it was at the end of last year or earlier in spring training about what it's like for a third base coach or a runner when he's at the plate. Well, Stan right now is standing in the coach's box himself. See, Brett Butler is out of this shot wisely. Morris off the end of the bat. Callaspo gets around it and flips to first in time to get the out. But the Marlins get 2 more, a 2-run double by Stanton, and a big night for the Fish. Celebrating 13 years. Every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in true HD. Isn't that cool? How cool is that? Oh, back to the regularly scheduled drop. The real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget. MLB.TV Premium includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch at home, in the office, or on the go. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Brian Morris out of Miami's pen. Tommy Hutton posed a question to himself.
Yeah, I do that often.
During the break. He didn't wait for Vinny or any other viewer. And that question was, would you bring Steve Cishek in for an inning just to get him work tonight?
And I think we both agreed that, yeah, we possibly could see Cishek in the 9th inning.
Morris in the 8th inning. Freeman is up. Freeman doesn't take any days off. He didn't miss a game last year.
You know, something really slid by us in Giancarlo's last at bat. We've got a few things to do up here with tweets and emails.
No face guard.
But we appreciate that. The kids out there in Twitter land.
The rest of his at-bats he had him on, but for whatever reason didn't have it on there. You think it broke? Do you think he decided not to use it against a lefty?
It's certainly worthy of a Jessica Blaylock investigation tomorrow.
CSI, yeah, Turner Field. We'll find out. Gets into that one, center field. Ozuna tracking it and has it about 390 feet from home plate. Freeman's had some good swings tonight.
Yeah, he has. It's fun watching Marcell Ozuna. I know in talking to Preston Wilson, Preston loves Marcel's footwork out there in the outfield. He gets good jumps and a lot of times makes him look easy. Tracks balls very well.
Maridel in Wellington wants to know, why is Major League Baseball the only sport where teams do not shake hands or congratulate each other after the game? I think it's because it's an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, you'd be doing it every day.
Hockey,
college kids do, but they play 2-3 times a week.
Hockey waits until the postseason, right? End of a postseason series.
Yeah, and I think your point is exactly right. It's every day.
Pierzynski dribbles it up the line. Morse collects.
It's every day. It's 18 or 19 games a year against the same team in your division. So I would guess that. Plus, you throw in tradition too.
We have an email from Peter in Wellington, who wants to know: is it inappropriate to call you guys slump busters? We had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything differently tonight.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
But I think we should start a new tradition and shake hands after every game as we leave the TV booth.
Look, let's be honest. We have nothing to do with the outcome. If we were to take any credit for, as Peter suggests, being slump busters, then we would be responsible for this team being 1-6 in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We're along for the ride. We're glad you're with us tonight.
Peter from Weston, always very insightful, though.
But as Tommy pointed out, and we addressed this at the outset of the telecast, Tommy was a bit superstitious in his playing days. We've done nothing different tonight than in games past.
I wore socks.
Well, that is different. Here's the 1-1.
But I did last night, too. I thought it was going to be cooler. I mean, we've had rain, but it really hasn't.
Now, the Marlins did spread bats all over the clubhouse floor today.
It looked like when you walked through the clubhouse, it looked like a puzzle.
Do you think the bats are back there tomorrow?
You better believe it.
Whoever did it's going to have to get up awful early to get it done. 12-10 start tomorrow. 1-2 pitch to Chris Johnson.
We'll have to find out if one of those bats is Ichiro's, because he guards his. He has a special case.
Don't mess with Ichiro
for his bats. Yeah,
it's one thing you learn of being around Ichiro. Don't mess with his stuff. Count 2-2. But Ichiro's also a very, very funny guy with a biting sense of humor, colorful language. And I think if he saw that was what everyone was into, and that was what the team needed to do, that he would sacrifice one of those bats from the humidor and put it out there on the floor. Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Chris Johnson goes down. Brian Morris with a 1-2-3, 8th to the 9th in Atlanta. 8-2.
Well, Rich, we've been talking all night about what we did during our off season, so I decided to go ahead and share what I did during my off season. I love to travel, so that's what I decided to do. First, I headed up to New England. I got the chance to explore Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. It was absolutely beautiful. And then I went to Disney World with my mom and my little sister, and apparently I really hit it off with the cast of Toy Story. You can see Woody and myself sharing a dance there. But of course, my favorite part of the offseason was learning that I had the opportunity to cover this team. And speaking of the Marlins, we are going to try and catch up with Giancarlo Stanton after the game, maybe find out what was going on with that at-bat and the face mask. So be sure to stick around for Marlins Live.
All right, we will stay tuned. Thank you, Jessica.
Well, that's certainly worth sticking around for. I'm going to stick around for that.
You're contractually obligated, my friend. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 to Ozuna. He's walked twice, once with the bases loaded. Saltalamacchia up next. Breaking ball in from Andrew McCurahan. Big night for Stanton. 3 hits. All 3 knocking in runs. 4 total. 2 walks. Ozuna swings and misses. Giancarlo Stanton's night. Now, notice the mask in place here. This is first inning.
Boy, he hammered that ball. Stayed on top of a pitch that was up from Cahill.
That provided a run. Mask is still on. That's the
little half swing.
Shift buster.
Yeah, little half swing into the hole on the right side.
No mask. Rand-eye vision cam caught it. So Saltalamacchia fouls it at the plate. Let's see where it got him. That's instep.
You know, when it hits the shoe, there's a little protection. When it hits that instep, there's nothing there but bone.
And not Perry Hill. Here's the 0-1. Ball and a strike and an out in the 9th. 8-2. Marlins on top. There he is. Perry Hill, whose boneyard is the stuff of legend, where Gold Gloves have been born in the backfield at spring training.
Are minor leaguers up at Roger Dean, are they allowed in there if Bone's not there?
I think they dismantled the actual boneyard paraphernalia before breaking camp. Tapper, Simmons on to first in time. So McCarran has a couple of outs here in the 9th. Inside the Marlins debuts, back to the minors. That's after Marlins Live postgame. Jessica down below. We'll try to chat with Giancarlo Stanton. Big night for the Fish. 8 runs, 11 hits. Echeverria with a nice night. These 2 for 4, doubled, scored back in the 6th, and a base hit in the 2nd.
Nice to see some smiles.
The bat goes
Late
one
in the
way,
game.
the ball goes the other, and Callaspo has it and throws Echeverria out. Bottom of the 9th in Atlanta, last call. 8-2 Miami. baseball on Fox Sports Florida. Brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealer. Atlanta all lit up. The rain, for the most part, has stayed away. No delays in this one. We played in a bit of a drizzle at times, but it hasn't bothered Miami offensively. A nice night tonight. Marlins looking for win number 2 on the season. And one of their top pitching prospects is about to make his major league debut.
Yeah, Jose Urena out of the Dominican Republic, 23-year-old. Was terrific last year in Jacksonville, 13-8 with a nice 3.33 ERA. You see his minor league numbers, very good. Got very fluid, loose arm action. Little two-seamer right there, throws a slider. So he'll remember this night, making his major league debut.
For Miami tonight, 5 1/3 out of Tom Kohler. He's lined up to win his first game ever against the Braves. And if you know the storyline, Kohler has pitched well in his career against Atlanta, hasn't had much support. And tonight, he gets 8 runs of support.
How about the number we gave you at the beginning of the game? His last 5 starts, Tom Kohler's against the Braves. The Marlins had scored 9 runs total in the 5 starts. Tonight, 8 runs from the Fish.
Kelly Johnson takes outside, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Little tapper. Urena off, slips, fires. Nice play by Morse.
Good job by Urena. Little slip because it is wet, but he stays with it. And we've talked about Freddie Freeman picking balls. How about Michael Morse picking up his young teammate?
So the first hitter that he faces in his big league career, he has a hand in retiring. And Urena with a fastball, Simmons lifts in the air, right field foul and into the seats. Started and beat Omaha in AAA last year. AA, ERA low 3s. Finished with a bang, 7-1 with a 1.87 ERA in his last 9 starts. He and Justin Nicolino are the top 2 pitching prospects. Johnny Gomes is on deck. Rob emails in that he's anticipating this year's fantasy auction, which is June 3rd this year. The Marlins play the Cubs at Marlins Park.
Oh, that'd be a nice night.
Fox Sports Florida, but we invite you to come out participating in person. You can bid on items both at the ballpark and at home. That one fouled off by Simmons. Rob has a lot of pitching questions.
Just watching Urena, you like his poise out there. There's the slider. That one was a little flat, but he has good stuff. There's no question about it. And the Marlins' gain by having him here is New Orleans' loss in their rotation. You mentioned Nicolino.
Simmons to left. Ichiro gives way. Ozuna makes the catch. Marlins Live, presented by Checkers, is coming up. We'll find out what's up with Giancarlo after a big night. His last AB, no face mask. That's coming up. Jessica Blaylock live on the field. Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson from our Fort Lauderdale studios. Rob's pitching questions. I can't get them all in. Wants to know what's the wisdom of pulling a starting pitcher at the first sign of trouble.
Well, there's so much that goes into that. The pitcher's history, the situation of the game.
Gomes takes
and a lot of wisdom goes into that.
And I think you'll see throughout baseball, you see a quicker, very much faster trigger finger in April, because pitchers haven't really been able to establish themselves into the high 90s, low 100s pitch counts through spring training.
Which to me doesn't make sense. Spring training is as long as it's ever been. Pitchers are in better shape when they get to spring training than they used to be years ago. In my opinion, they should be ready when the season starts.
You have a friend in Rob. He feels that way as well.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Just like Jessica had a friend in Woody in that dance in the offseason. Liner left, Ichiro knocks it down. Gomes has a base hit.
Ichiro charged that ball, and all of a sudden he got about halfway, realized he wasn't going to be able to make a catch. It was really sinking. So what does he do? He gets down just to kind of block it, to keep it in front of him and keep Gomes at first base. Got to get this tweet out there from Daniel saying, "There's no doubt you have the top TV producer in the game."
You sure? Is that authenticated? It's not a ghost account? A sham Twitter account set up by John Sulzer, critically acclaimed producer. Pitch. I think the Daniel loses a lot of credibility. The avatar he's got, which is the Twitter photo, he's got like 6 beers lined up and he's pounding them. So that's the one you want to read with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Bouncer, Gordon to his left, ball game. Right. Marlins win it, and they do it with offense. Early offense, which has been sorely missing in the first week of the season. They bust out with 8 runs on 11 hits. Stanton has 3 of those runs. Or actually 3 of those hits, 4 of those RBIs in this one. And for the Marlins, an 8-2 win. Stick around, Marlins Live. We'll find out about Giancarlo and that mask. Who was that masked man? Marlins win it.